everybody. I'm
Hello.
so excited to see you guys and to see you,
morning.
Charles. Good
Nice to
morning.
see you too, Anya.
This is Live with Restream, and we are the Restream team. I'm Anya. I'm product marketing here in Austin, Texas. And today, co-hosting with me is Charles,
Hello.
our video
I'm
producer.
Charles. Yes. Here in San Francisco, live.
Here in San Francisco.
Sweltering heat already. I'm melting over here.
Live from San Francisco and from Austin, Texas. And in a few minutes, we'll show you why. You will actually see some parts of San Francisco, which is super exciting. But today we are talking about Restream Studio scenes and how you could use them to build really cool and flawless live shows, how you can create your content like a presentation slide deck, and how easy it is to create professional live streams when you have tools like Restream Studio.
This is
So
true.
very quick housekeeping here. We are growing our YouTube channel. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. We are also live today on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn. There's so many different channels. And we are super excited and hyped up that a bunch of our team members paired their channels with us today. We have over 26 paired channels. So you're probably seeing us all over the place.
26? Did you say 26?
Yeah, 26 paired channels
26
among,
paired
yes,
channels.
26 paired channels on top of our core channels, which are, I believe, is 10 or 12. So lots of different places. True.
That is
True multi-streaming.
Multi-stream
It
to
is.
the max, isn't it?
It's multi-streaming at its finest. Yes, absolutely. So thank you, everybody who did pair us. If you are watching us on one of the paired channels, from our CEO, from our head of product, from our product team folks, hello. We are taking over that channel because we are all one team, and we want to show you how you could use Restream Studio for your own live shows just like this one. So like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and have a look at our chat. Let's see who we have there. And by the way, let us know in the comments where in the world you're watching from and what kind of content do you typically produce. And if you already have a question about scenes, how to build your live show by creating specific scenes and changing them, and like what kind of cool things you can integrate into your show by having these abilities, let us know in the comments. We'll be starting every single comment that is a question. So we'll be going through that in the end of the show.
Can I
All
say
right.
that how important the chat and the comments are is that this stream is a reaction to the downloads of chats that you did. And what's hilarious is, as we were saying on LinkedIn, you downloaded the chat and sort of were looking at it, and I identified the same trend, and I've made a video about scenes because of that, because of watching the chat. So what you say in the chat really influences what we then work on and try to make sure that you are getting everything that you need to create shows as wonderful as ours.
Absolutely. And this is true because at some point we were talking about how we build scenes and like how we think about our show. And we asked the question during one of our live shows, like, would that be helpful for you to learn a little bit more about how we build our scenes, what scenes are? Should we give a refresher? Because we have launched scenes years ago and they have been around for quite some time. And would the refresher be helpful? And a bunch of people in the chat said yes. So this basically determined this stream. There's another thing that
helped us create content, right? That's the content
Exactly.
engine. Is that what you were about to say? I'm sorry.
No. What I was about to say is actually that there's another thing that we're doing today. So we paired 26 channels. We are creating this content because of you mentioning that you're interested in learning more about scenes in the chat by using our new chat export feature in the analytics. But we're also testing live clipping today. So as we are talking right now, our Restream clips are going to generate some highlights directly from this show, and we are going to be posting them live as we are still live. I know it sounds super meta and super weird, and I know it doesn't make sense right now, but I promise, give it 10, 15 minutes. Our product lead, Romario, who is helping us to cut those clips and basically like pick the ones that are the best, and Becca, who will be posting them today on all social media platforms, will show you exactly what we mean. All right, I want to acknowledge a few people from our chat because there's a lot of really cool comments in here. So there's good morning. There is first to comment on YouTube. Hello. Good afternoon. I love that we are kind of seeing all the time zones and all different people. Can this be done on basic standard plan? Basically, everything we're showing right now today is something that you can do on basic standard plan, except for live clipping. Live clipping is a more premium feature, but scenes are available for everyone, including free plans. Live chat overlay that you're seeing right now is available for all. And we pretty much everything else that we'll be demonstrating today is available on either free or standard, including analytics and chat export. So great question there, Delvin. Thank you for asking. 26 channels. Whoa. Yeah, pairing. That's also another feature that you unlock on standard, and it is available starting from standard plan. So you can do that too. Okay, so that's that question.
Well, it looks to me like Delvin is on 2 platforms watching.
I know, right? Yeah, because that's why I was just like,
get those numbers up. Yeah.
Absolutely love that. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. That's great to hear from Missouri. Sir Charles and Anya, hello. Danger Zone, our frequent flyer in here.
Frequent flyer. That's a great way of putting it.
Frequent
Highway
flyer.
to the danger zone.
British
B.
British B, LOL. Hello from sunny London, from Celia. Hi. She's watching us on LinkedIn, which is
London.
Awesome. All right. I am watching from Lake Wales in Florida.
Lake Wales, is that near Land O'Lakes? I know Land O'Lakes in Florida. Is that sort of, is that Florida? That'll be like, I'm betting that's like Orlando area. I'm guessing. Anyway.
Correct us if we are wrong. We love seeing more comments in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Hi from X. That is good to see that we have folks on X as well. Hi there, Fish Family. I know that Fish Family link always reminds people to like and subscribe the stream, which is absolutely priceless. I absolutely love it. And yes, and Grant is responding that, yeah, the pairing is available starting from standard plan, which is awesome. I'm asking about scenes. So the question about is this available on standard plan or free plan, it was related to scenes. So yes, scenes are available starting from free plan. You can absolutely use them at whatever plan you are on. Connecting from Caracas, Venezuela. I love that. Hi, welcome to our live show. Much love all. This is epic. X notified me. That's about like watching on 2 different channels because of course, if you signed up, if you're subscribed already to our channels, then you'll get a notification. That's wonderful. Hello from Fort Lauderdale and hello from Portland, Oregon. Cheers from Tijuana, Mexico. I love the geography today. It's just absolutely amazing.
Just hearing the name Tijuana makes me want to dance.
Right? It's awesome.
Something about it.
Yeah. Okay, this is my first time attending, but I typically use your software for multiple social platforms. I am unfamiliar with pairing. Yeah, so if you're using Restream, you can invite your guests to connect their channels to your stream so they can amplify your event. It's especially awesome if they are guests on your show, so they basically will rebroadcast the event that they are part of. Super easy and simple, especially if they have large audience. That's an opportunity for you to grow. Maybe you have a team like us who just want to share Restream relevant content on their platforms and channels. Then they can pair and basically amplify and get some extra reach for your live show. So that's how pairs look.
Goes to their channels. They don't get to control it. They are a part of the stream, but they don't have to be. They don't even have to be a guest, right? We could send out a link and everyone watching could pair their channels and send this stream to their own platforms. So
absolutely.
It's a really, like you said, it's a really good way of amplifying.
It's a really good way of amplifying.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone gets content.
Well, please keep bringing your questions. I see that there are a few questions about scenes in general, so we'll go ahead and get started with showing you a quick video overview of how scenes work. We are going to skip news today because people are all riled. Well, we only have one, right? We want to talk. Well, actually, let's talk about it real quick. So we like to kind of warm up with a little news, industry news and stuff that we are seeing online. So one of the things that stood out this week is that Peacock, really big TV platform competing with Netflix and HBO, is now offering vertical sports, right? So basically, they're moving in the same direction as YouTube, Twitch, and many other social platforms with their video, bringing it perfectly optimized for all kinds of screens. So if you're watching on mobile, you see it vertical, slightly cut on the main action, right? And if you're watching on the big screen, you see it horizontal. So yeah, I know, Charles, you really like this one. So
well, it just caught my eye. I think what it's not so much about the technology or anything around it. I think what I found interesting about this is that if they're going to start broadcasting sports like this, it's legitimizing, much to my chagrin as a filmmaker, it's legitimizing vertical video, and it shows that it's an acknowledgement from major broadcasters that vertical video is here. It's becoming a standard, not a deviation, and I think it's also becoming a default behavior in that people are watching so much and consuming so much on mobile devices. Something that's it means then the importance of thinking about your layouts and thinking about whether your layouts can dynamically change with the content. So if you were to be watching on our vertical streams, you'll see the photo that you can see, the picture there with Anya and I underneath. And if you're watching on the horizontal streams, you'll be seeing the image
on the side.
Anya and I up and down. Yeah,
it's very adaptive.
So where you're watching, it's going to dynamically change, and that's quite important. Otherwise, you and I would have to be squeezed into the middle of the horizontal screen. So that's why it's so important to have a platform that can dynamically change like that. Is that this is coming, this is here. Something that also caught my attention about this is that the article that I read. Where did I read it? It was in The Verge. The article I read said that NBC Sports is actually planning to use a Japanese AI tracking system where not only can you get a vertical feed, but you can tap on a player and a camera will follow that player. Your view will follow a player. So it's a personalized experience. So that again, although that's not necessarily related, I thought that was interesting. That's really that's really what I found interesting about this.
No, that's really cool. And for sports and media teams who are using Restream, this is just a perfect reminder that Restream allows you to stream in 2 different formats and 2 different orientations. If you haven't tried that yet, you should. It's possible through plugin with your professional streaming software and in studio directly. So however you go live and however you do your sports coverage, you can do it now perfectly optimized for all screens and all devices, which is awesome. All right, back to scenes. We prepared a quick guide, a walkthrough of how scenes work, just to give you the basics and kind of show you some examples of how we use them. So let's have a look, and then we will dive into your questions. All right, Charles is going to take it away.
For professional live streams as seamless and stress-free as a video chat with friends, this is Restream Scenes. Think of scenes as slides in a presentation or preset layouts ideal for each part of your live show. Now, since their release, we've listened to your feedback and continued to upgrade scenes. So here's a full guide with some hot features you may not know about. Starting in a new studio, we'll give you 2 pre-made scenes, and you can add more up here by choosing camera, media, or countdown. So our first pre-made one here is a camera scene, ideal for your introductions and guest interviews. And we can rename this, duplicate it, and so on. I'm going to duplicate, and let's make some changes to this duplicate, like the layout, customization. Maybe I'll round off those edges. And I'll turn off the names. And you know what? Let's add an overlay graphic. All right, now you'll see that as I click each scene to switch to it, the changes that I made have been saved. All right, let's move to this next pre-made scene. It's called Demo, and of course you can rename this. Now you'll see that it has placeholders ready for you to add content like an image, a video, or a guest. So let's add a video. I will choose this one that I've uploaded already. There we go. Side note, the loop function is very handy. Okay, now to add a guest. Now, all I need to do is copy this invite link, and I can send it at any time to the person that I want to join my stream. When a guest does join, you don't want them just randomly appearing mid-stream, so when they do connect, you'll hear this sound to let you know that they are ready and waiting. At which point, you can come over to Sources and bring them into the show. But by default, they will be in all of your camera scenes. Now, a very cool thing here is that you can actually choose which scenes they are in. So let's make a new camera scene, and I'll call it something like Anya Chat. There we go. Now I'll come and assign Anya to her scene, and then as I move through the stream scenes, When I get to the one that I assigned to Anya, there she is. Now, the last type of scene we need to chat about are countdowns. In live streaming, platforms need a moment to connect, and audiences need time to react to their notifications. So, a countdown gives the space for all of this to happen. Alright, click to add your countdown and customize your length, the music, and of course the design. Now, you'll notice this is an auto switching scene, which is exactly what it sounds like. At the end of the countdown, the studio will switch to the scene directly below. Now, you can turn this feature on scenes with videos too, which is why it's so handy to be able to drag and drop to change the order of your scenes. I think the best way to work in a few pro tips is to show you exactly how we use scenes in our weekly live shows. Our show starts with a 2-minute countdown. During this time, I generally will check that all the platforms are going live. Then we'll auto switch to our first camera scene. A ticket at the bottom is going to prompt for interaction in the chat. And the notes are there, look, to remind us to introduce people and to give an overview of what's going to be coming up. Then we'll move to a reminder to like and subscribe. And notice how the notes have changed with the scene. Then we can have some interaction with the audience with a chat overlay. Now, this is just demo chat so that you can see what it will look like. Now, we might play a video, share a screen, or bring up an image that introduces each topic. Then maybe we'll chat to a guest. Hello again, Anya. And maybe 2 guests. Hi, Becca. And I can check my notes to ensure that I've covered everything that we need to talk about. And we can say our final reminder to subscribe, and then a goodbye. If you build your show in advance like this, it means you can focus on your audience instead of your software. You can have up to 40 scenes, which is plenty for even the most complex of shows. So let us know how you use scenes and what features you'd like to see included. Cheers.
That was a watch party. we were just exchanging notes here that like, oh yeah, that's kind of a long video. But I think it's important to show like all the possibilities. Like it covered a lot of ground, and of course scenes is a big topic, and there's a lot you can do with them. And we are going to demo a few things for you right now in real time. Continue to drop your questions in the chat if you have anything specific that you'd like to achieve with scenes. Feel free to send us references and links. We did invite some of you to share your own scene setups that we could maybe review them and make recommendations. This is still a valid option. So if you haven't had a chance to submit it before, you can still DM it to us and we will have a look and help you to improve your setups. But yeah, basically the scenes work as presentation slides, right? Like you create every part of your show, just like earlier we showed you a piece where we had a video and then we transitioned to this scene where it's just 2 of us inviting you to ask questions in the chat, and we'll continue showing you some other materials in this way. So I want to go ahead and take a few questions from the chat just to make sure that folks who are super active, sharing their thoughts and basically showing, engaging with us across different platforms, get acknowledged. We definitely want to make sure that we answer your questions because this is a live Q&A. This is a dynamic show. And then we will show you a few more things that are cooking. And all right, so a few questions here from Celia. She's asking from LinkedIn, can we do scenes easily from mobile in Portrait as well? So 2 things, right? When you are creating your scenes in Restream Studio, and if you're using dual output, which is what we are using, your scenes will automatically adjust for your vertical platforms, right? Like, so they absolutely are going to work on mobile. And as you change your scenes throughout your show on landscape, they will also appear in mobile and they will be adaptable. So we actually do have a few examples of this, but I will actually go ahead and show you right now as we are talking how that looks, because I think it's important stuff. Let me add this. So this is basically what I see at the moment. I just took the screenshot and see how our layout that we had adapts in vertical. So instead of being side by side to each other, we actually get staggered, and all the comments and the ticker that we're showing also appears on mobile as well. So yes, the scenes will work on mobile. Now, if you're asking, can you actually build them on mobile? The answer is maybe. You can use but it's not going to be an app. It's going to be basically a browser version of Restream Studio. So it's a little bit more clunky, especially if you have smaller screen. Depending on how large is your phone, it's going to be harder or easier for you to manage those scenes. But yes, you can absolutely log into your Restream account on mobile and use it from your mobile browser. So
I
hope
that real trade-off, isn't there, in the usability and then the functionalities and and how you can see what's on screen. So there's a real trade-off in terms of what you can see at any one time. But it does work. Absolutely does work.
I do have a pro tip for you, though. I think I just thought about this. So what you could do potentially, and again, I'm not 100% sure on your use case, but I think you are trying to maybe stream more kind of like from specific location
IRL.
Or from specific event, IRL, maybe real estate stuff. Maybe you want to do like a little walk through the house. Maybe you're trying to do some events or something more kind of like in the fields type situation. What I would do is I would build those scenes out when you have access to your laptop and basically create the flow of the show. And then once you are actually live, you can go live from your mobile, but your setup and your flow is going to be ready to go. So that would be a little bit easier for you. It's a lot easier to just click through scenes than to build them from scratch on your mobile, if that makes sense.
That's one of the main points about scenes, isn't it? Is that it's a fantastic way of helping you stay organized and setting up how your stream works so that the flow of it is not interrupted with you going, what shall we do next? You're like, okay, next subject, done.
Exactly.
Ready to go. And the notes are right there just to help you, remind you, prompt you to make sure that you get things out that you needed to say. Because when you're live, it's so hard to remember everything. There's so much input,
Absolutely.
even though
Absolutely.
it's an output medium.
Absolutely. And I think I cannot get enough of this analogy with slides and like presentations and slide decks.
Right.
When I think about this, nobody in the right mind would ever consider doing a presentation in front of internal meetings or in front of their customers, open up PowerPoint or Keynote and start changing and editing a single slide for every point of your conversation. So basically just open the presentation, a Keynote or PowerPoint and be like, okay, so this is our topic, type it up. Okay, now delete all that stuff. This is the chart and the results of the Q1 that I wanted to share. Delete, retype. Like no one would ever in the right mind would do that, right? So when we think about live stream, it's kind of the same thing. Like scenes allow you to create that slide deck. They allow you to create that presentation. And then all you do is just click through them. And then they automatically adjust. They already have all your assets and all your information, all your messaging, all those great things. And then you don't have to worry about like adjusting. And again, if you need to adjust, sometimes in your presentation, you need to correct a typo. Sometimes you need to drop another image or update a chart. You can still do it. It's absolutely flexible. But it makes sense to have your flow planned and ready to go before you click that go live button.
And when I worked for a angel investor and VC venture capitalist, he was always a huge part of raising money would be your deck. And the decks would come in and they would be so complicated. Their presentation decks would be so complicated. They'd cram in so much information. The first thing that would always happen when in those training sessions in the accelerator program was 1 point per slide. And I think that point really stands here. You'll notice that we transition to, not just in the subject, but actually within the subject that we're covering, we have many different slides, pretty much 1 point per slide. It helps the audience with the amount of information that's being given. It helps break it up. And also attention spans, it can help with maintaining a sort of energy to the stream.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier for you, it's easier for your audience. So 1 point per slide would be another really important point that I would make.
Absolutely.
Per scene is what I'm saying, not slide,
Slide, scene, same thing. Like I really want people to think about those as interchangeable as the same thing, because that's the best way to understand how they work and how to use them. A few more great questions. Other shortcuts to move between scenes. You can use, I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to change my scene, but you can use your like arrows, like the up and down on your computer if you are already in scenes, and that allows you to change. I don't believe that there is a specific key assigned to each scene, because you can create up to 40 and different people create different scenes and different number of them. So there's currently not a shortcut to like a specific scene, but it's a great feedback and it's a good feature request. So I definitely encourage you to go to ideas.restream.io and submit it. And especially if you can show, provide as much detail as possible of how exactly this would look for you. yes, you can definitely transition between scenes using your ERs. And in just a minute here, I'm going to show you how you could use scenes as a switcher between multiple cameras, because I think it's a very interesting use case, especially for professional shows, that kind of shows you how you could potentially use the scenes as basically like a switcher, like a professional deck, right? So we're going to get there, I promise. Question from Noreen. Hello, I have a question. When I click a new scene, the camera, media, and countdown disappeared, and so did my videos for my intro and outro. So when you create a new scene, you're basically creating a brand new, fresh slide, right? Like think of presentation. When you say, I want to do a new slide, like you basically get a blank page. Sometimes, however, you want to use some parts of your previous slide, right? For example, the same title, same logo, some assets, maybe even the same visual. You just want to change some note around it. In that case, you should use duplicate. If you duplicate your scene, and for that there is a Command C, Command B. If you're in the scene section, you can simply Control copy and paste it, and then you can change. Then the new scene that you created will have everything that your previous scene had, and you can make slight adjustments. When you're creating a new scene, you have options to choose between 3 different types, right? Like you can do a countdown scene, a camera scene, or a media scene. So that's already kind of slightly giving you some templates and some ideas. So what are you going to show? Are you going to show an image and then some people around it, or you're going to show just to guess for an introduction, or it's going to be a timer? Depending on what you're trying to do, the new scene is going to let you do that.
This is why when we start a new stream, you duplicate the studio, but you also then duplicate scenes. Command D if you're on a Mac is what I would use for duplicating a scene. But this sort of making a template studio is always a good idea, and it will also duplicate the notes that are in that scene too. So it's super useful. And it means that the layout and any customization like rounded corners, things like that. There are also a bunch of other hotkeys on that subject that are useful, that even if you didn't want to create a new scene, if you want to add an extra camera, you just hit E. If you want to screen share is H, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, I got that right. I do these things, I don't think about it too much. Like asking someone for the password on their computer. They're like, I'm going to have to actually type it. I don't know it off the top of my head. So
nice.
Yeah. Did you, Anya, did you see the chat message that just popped up?
I did. I was going to actually show this comment because it's a great and perfect segue to what's going on here. I wonder if video clipping and auto repurposing included to avoid third-party repurposing software. Yes, it is. So it is an add-on in terms of pricing, but it is included in your same Restream account. And the goal is exactly that. Create a all-in-one platform, one-stop shop for your content for everything from recording to live streaming to repurposing. And I can see that our producer, Becca, is telling us that the first clip is live on YouTube and X. So that means that and also on LinkedIn, that's awesome. So that means that if you look at our page or look at our shorts right now, you can see that they'll highlight a live clip from this very show that we are streaming right now is actually posting on platforms. So this is huge because live clips or just shorts and clips in general, like short vertical content works as top of the funnel, right? Like it's short, it's bite size. We were talking about attention span earlier today. So this is perfect for that attention span. It's also perfect for vertical feeds. It's also optimized for mobile. So when people are kind of following you on the go in the middle of something, they can easily connect to your channel on their mobile phone. So when you're posting a short clip from the live video that you are continuing to stream and host, this is a great opportunity for you to capture new audiences, find new fans, deliver like really bite-sized, easily digestible content, and then funnel them into your channel to subscribe and to come for more. So, and live clipping is amazing because basically you are doing that while you're still live. So not only you're showing them, hey, this is what my content is about, this is what I'm capable of, catch my live show next time I'm live. It's basically join me now, I'm ready. So which is super powerful.
Going back to what we were discussing last week, analytics, you can then go into your analytics afterwards and say, oh, I posted these and then I got a spike. That was working. Or, oh, I didn't get a spike on this platform. I don't need to worry about that so much, perhaps. Or let's try it again. Or maybe I need different content for that platform. Maybe I need to have different subject matter to hit both those platforms. So that's, where it's going to be interesting to look at the analytics of this stream and see, if we got some spikes.
Yeah, absolutely. I will take a few more questions here, and then we will move on with showing you a few examples of like how scenes could work for you. So we talked about shortcuts. So there's actually a comment here from Nick. He says, my Elgato Stream Deck handles the changing of scenes from OBS. If I can copy my setup to Restream, that would be a dream come true. This is awesome. Yeah, let us know. I see that you messaged earlier that you would like to share your exact professional podcast setup. I would absolutely love that. If you can find me on LinkedIn or on X, please DM me and show me how your flow is looking right now. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of things that you can do in studio if your goal is to move from OBS. And I see that you're also working with guests. So your podcast features guests. And I cannot even begin to describe how much easier the life of you, your producers, and your guests is going to be if you're inviting them to studio versus OBS. It's a true dream come true because it's just so seamless. It's so easy. And in addition to all the ease and simplicity and great looks for your guests, and great controls for you because you can actually control and help your guests with cameras, microphones. You can create great layouts for them. You can assign them to specific scenes so they show up exactly when they expect to show up. On top of all that, they can also free broadcast your show to their own channels and really amplify your audience and help you reach a lot more viewers. So it's just completely different world. And I would love to see your setup to see if we can help you transition. It's awesome. All right, so we talked about what other things you could do with scenes. So clearly the basics is it's like slides in your presentation. You go through them and that changes your content, it changes your layouts. When they are preset, it makes your stream flow very simple, smooth, and easy. So let me show you a few examples of how you can integrate different content into scenes instead of like scrambling around and trying to like find things. And show them live, you can actually preset them. So one of the things I see a lot among our customers and creators is that they want to show a video. Sometimes it's a short, sometimes it's like a small clip, right, that they're just trying to show. How most people go about this right now is that they choose to share screen and then they kind of fiddle with this checkbox that you have to check in Google Chrome to even like transition the audio so like people could hear what this clip is about, right? Like, so it's kind of cumbersome a little bit. What you can do with scenes is you can create a scene when you upload that video, even if it's short and vertical, and then you can show it side by side to you and your co-host, and then people can watch it, watch party style. And we're going to do exactly this right now with analytics. And it's also a cool refresher about the new feature that we recently launched with GS Restream Analytics. So this is how your sync would look. So you go from two hosts talking about anything and everything to the specific video that you want to show and discuss, like this.
As a live video creator, you know if you're growing, but do you know why? Or more importantly, why not? This is beautiful analytics. From the dashboard under past streams, choose a recent stream. You can download recordings, read the transcript and the chat so that you can find things that you may have missed while you were live. And a little further down, you'll find charts that let you know the number of viewers and the chat messages as you stream. And look at this, our vertical stream really lifted off. Oh, look down here, our Instagram clearly had an issue, so I better look into that before our next stream. It is now easier than ever to understand what's working on your streams and make informed choices.
So yeah, this, let me actually get you back here with, this is not bad, Data Crunch. Love the title. So
I
this
always
is,
have fun with those titles. You know,
I
love
know,
doing
they're
those.
so good. They're so good.
You'd be surprised how good Claude is at finding puns.
Shout out to Claude.
I mean, I write most of them, but occasionally I'm like, I bet I
Give me
could make that
ideas.
better."
Absolutely. That's what I asked for. They're like, we should use those, their abilities. But yeah, as you can see, this is a completely different world compared to sharing your whole screen, finding this short on YouTube or any other platform, then playing it, trying to like resize, maximize, like, you know, kind of like full screen it, and then also fiddle with the sound to make sure that the sound is good, because this hopefully, and let us know in the chat if it was different for you, but the sound is really good and it's also evened out and measured with us. And the layout is the one that we chose, right? Like we wanted to be in the middle and the two of us want to be on the side. So it's pretty powerful when it comes to showing certain content. And with scenes, it's as simple as click from here to click to the other scene. Same applies to images. If you have something to share that is just a static image, like this update, that now your past recordings, even if they expired, still allow you to see the video that you streamed in your analytics, because we simply, especially if you went on YouTube channel, because we simply take that YouTube video archive or replay and show it to you as a in your analytics. So
You
you can
just landed as to what was happening there. That's fantastic.
That is very fresh. It's a small update, but it's very fresh. And obviously, we did not have time to create like a whole video guide or like a lot of materials on that. But it is still a very cool and very useful update. So before, when you would go to your analytics, if your recording is more than 30 days old, it will just basically expire. So most of you will probably download it and have it somewhere. But if you're trying to look at the chats and analytics and just kind of like see what was going on with that stream, you won't be able to actually go through it and like even remember what exactly that stream was about. But now you can actually have the replay basically embedded from YouTube directly in your analytics, which I think is super cool, and it just looks so much better. This is the fireside chat that Alex and I did during the January when we just kicked off our new live streaming weekly show, and now I can actually review it again. So in that case, of course, the chats will not be saved because we still need to have access to your full recording in order to be able to give you the transcript. But it's still opportunity for you to look at the stats, the data, the numbers, the viewers, the chatters, like the overall numbers and the like how they were growing, like the dynamic graphics will still be available, and you can actually match it with what was going on the stream, on the stream or during the video. So that's pretty cool. But the point here is that if you have an image that you just want to share, you have that option. And with scenes, you can go, again, from having a conversation, just two hosts chatting, looking at each other, to that place where you illustrate your point in simple click instead of going through sharing screen, figuring out how to find that screen, and just kind of like, or even taking that screenshot and dropping it in, which you can do if you have to, but it's a lot easier if it's already preset and pre-recorded. And just a quick shameless plug, the second clip is posted. We are continuing to share live updates and live highlights from this video. And I just got a confirmation that we have another clip posted. You can check it out on LinkedIn, on YouTube Shorts, and on X. So this is live clipping when you can share highlights and best moments of the stream that is still happening. Super cool, brand new, testing it together with you guys today. Awesome. Charles, do you want to add anything before I move into our experiment of multi-camera and how scenes could be helpful about multicam?
I've been enjoying the show. I haven't checked that my camera's still going.
I hope it does, because
it is. I can see it is, right? Isn't that lovely?
You should be seeing it in the sources, because I can see it in sources, and we are going to come back to chat after we show you a few more demonstrations of what scenes are capable of, and we will also show you.
Sorry.
I know, it's so.
Grant has just posted a link, I believe. I mean, to a short. So I'm guessing that's a short of you and I.
That's what we agreed he'll do. We cannot really click.
Sorry, I wasn't saying it for you. I meant.
We're not able to click on it right now, but you are absolutely encouraged and invited to check it out and let us know how did this live clip turn out. If you've been watching the whole show from the very beginning, let us know what you think about the quality of that clip. I would love to hear your feedback. Extra cameras. So when you have multiple different cameras, whether it's for your solo show or for a stream with a guest or co-host or a whole panel discussion, switching angles looks very professional, especially if two cameras are high quality cameras. That whole look that you see on the news in professional shows and professional documentaries, when the same person kind of like gets captured from different angles, is what you want to be after if you want to look super, super pro. How you can achieve that with scenes, of course, you can add additional cameras within the same scene and kind of like have different angles on the same person. But that kind of creates this kind of hallucination environment where you have like the same person kind of like multiplied and cloned, which, it could work for some shows, but not for all shows. But what you can do with scenes is you can use this the first scene for one camera and the second scene for another camera and basically use them as a switcher. I'll show you exactly how that looks. So this is my first scene where I have, and I promise Charles disappeared, but he is still with us. He is just hidden.
I am still with you.
You can still hear him. He's right there. So this is how I could approach a multi-angle camera with scenes. So this is my scene one. This shows my great studio, and this is my core beautiful camera. My second camera is a little bit less excellent because it's just my phone right there, but it basically switched the angle. And imagine I could potentially point it at my keyboard if I'm showing something that I'm doing with my hands. Maybe it could point at a different part. Maybe it could point at a different guest if I'm actually talking to somebody. But this is how simple it is to switch between the two. So I'm just using little arrows on my keyboard, and that allows me to switch very easily from this camera to this one.
Honestly, that iPhone looks incredible. It's really
Does it?
Yeah, it really does. Now, I prefer this. The colors are more muted, and you've got filters on there, like you and I both have. Oh, I've just seen that you can see my fan in the background. How embarrassing!
No, you're good. I was looking at this guy. I don't know. To me, it's kind of red and pink, and like it also has a weird angle. I was actually messing with it for a while because I have a tiny tripod to use this. Of course, this is a different
tripod.
Yeah, like a do-it-yourself type thing. But I do think that this is pretty fascinating, like how professional that switching looks. It's like a very simple transition. And there's also one for you, Charles, right? Like, so we could put you full screen. I don't even see your fan, but whatever.
No, I literally leaned over and got rid of it.
You just like knocked it off.
But you can see the top of my screen. These are the things that, look at that.
I barely see it.
I know. I don't like it. I don't like that you can see these
things. I'll switch you. I'll switch you in a second. Don't worry. So that's another option when you can have a person who is like kind of talking and broadcasting. And then let's say you want to show something like a live camera, right? Like a live view camera that you want to comment on. I wish we had the wildlife there, but it's a wildlife of streets of San Francisco.
Yeah, it's some wildlife.
Some wildlife. Very wild. But
so the frame rate has dropped on that. Look, can you see? Does that look like it's all look stuttery? That is my camera. Maybe my camera's overheating because it is really, really hot in here. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a little blurry, but I was like watching like all the cars going. It was like, yeah, that's kind of interesting and dynamic. Oh, it's a little pixelated.
Yeah. And also what's the weirdest thing about that is it's not a constant stream of Waymos.
Yeah. Which is exactly what was happening as we were testing this. But yeah, that's another way to use extra camera and scenes. You can switch from the main broadcaster to, oh, hey, look, this is what's going on in my backyard, front yard or something. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that I also wanted to show.
I mean, that could also be your desk view, couldn't it? Like, so you were saying about how you have a second camera. That second camera could be an overhead view of whatever you're doing on your desk, if you're mending watches or, you know what I mean? Or doing some drawing or whatever. That's that. And so that would be the use case for having the two cameras in the same scene. You wouldn't, like you said, you wouldn't necessarily have two cameras pointed at the same host. But it also could be, if you have two people in a studio having a conversation, you might have three cameras. You might have a single, and you might have a group, a single of each and a group shot. And again, you can then all you would need to do is just click between the scenes of the three different shots.
And remember, you can assign cameras to specific scenes. You can say this extra camera, just like guest, like any source, only goes here. And then as you transition between them, this is actually the hack of adding your third and fourth camera. You can only have two cameras at the same time on the same scene, which is the limitation of studio. But if you are actually operating three different cameras and you just want to assign them to different scenes, like you would assign guests, you can do it. So that's pretty impressive. I also wanted to show you how like layout plays out, how layout play out. Yeah. So another update here, if you're watching us on mobile, you'll see that we actually updated this layout and now you can actually have circles on your vertical platforms as well. So this is brand new. Not all layouts currently support like full customizations, but the one that's called Contain does. So you can actually make circles and squares. And the beauty of this is you can change the shapes and kind of like the position of your camera, right, of your video box directly in the customized view, right, in the customized settings. But it's so much easier if you want to go from circles to squares to simply create an additional scene. And then just like this, you go from circles to squares. See how fast it is. You would never be able to switch it in the controls, like open the controls and change that. But with scenes, you can very simply create this effect. And this is how it looks for us. Again, a little behind the scenes, right? Like you can see that I do have...
That's so meta. Look at that. That's hilarious.
It's insane. But you can see that it also adjusts in our vertical view. And I also just simply go from layout 1 to layout 2 to layout 3, which is this one, where we already have an image. And just like this...
a sneaky peek of our scenes that we're genuinely using the scenes.
Exactly, which we will show you more of in just a second. So yeah, basically go like I want circles, I want squares, and this is how I do it. This is my behind the scenes. So like just like, click, click, click. Very simple. You can see all of them on the left of our circles and vertical. Good stuff.
So want to make you and I circles next to the circles and the circles.
I know, right?
Circles are fun. I like the circles.
Keep circles. Yeah, me too. It's my favorite shape. I was talking to my 3-year-old the other day and he was like, "Mama, what's your favorite shape?" I'm like, circle. Love it. It's just absolutely
Circle
the
is
best.
my favorite. I've never thought about that as my favorite.
What's your favorite shape? That's the type of questions I get asked right now, and I'm like fascinated by like the beauty of small things, of simple questions. What's your favorite shape? Circle.
I honestly, I can tell you what my favorite shape at the moment is: a squircle.
What is a squircle? It's like a squared circle?
It's a squared. Yeah, it's a circled square. Effectively, if you look at that video we just played, I'm not in a round. It's not a rounded box.
Yes.
The top, the bottom, and the sides are also slightly.
Yeah.
There must be a word for
square circle. Yeah,
slightly rounded, bulging.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's not. It's a squircle.
The edge is squircle. Love it. Some fun stuff. We're going to take some questions from the chat right now before we do another demonstration, because I do want to share my screen and show you exactly how we built our streams for previous shows. Because I think the best way, just like you showed in your guide, the best way to integrate a few pro tips and to show some specific examples of how we do it is just to show you how we build our scenes. And hopefully that will inspire some of your shows, and hopefully you'll find something useful. But we definitely want to prioritize your questions because that's the most important part of the show. So I will go ahead and take some questions. All right. I'll actually start from the most recent ones, just so folks who just posted. I have a question.
Chat today.
I know. I love it. Like it's all good questions.
OBS is fantastic. So to be compared and to be, for people to be drawing those parallels is I think a really healthy thing.
Yeah. So basically the question is, can we use OBS with Restream, basically take the chat and select just to highlight an individual message to come on the screen without the entire chat scrolling. So that feature that you're seeing right now, as I am highlighting your chat as you're asking about the highlight chat feature, so meta, but this is something that is a feature of Studio. You can potentially do that in OBS, but it will require a lot more work. I do believe that you can create a specific layout for this and maybe basically screenshot or highlight or copy the comment and create that kind of effect, but it's going to be a lot of work for you. It's a lot easier to do it in Restream Studio. I would love to know what is the core reason for you to use OBS, right? Because if that's just a setup as you have it, you can connect Restream to OBS for just multi-streaming and just take your full OBS stream to Restream, and then we will put it on multiple platforms. And if you're using our plugin in multiple orientations, but for this chat highlights, it's a lot easier to use Studio. You can use your OBS as a virtual camera. So if you just want to take your video feed and put it into Studio from OBS, you can do that. And then you can use all the great features of Studio, such as chat overlays and chat highlights to acknowledge your viewers. So I hope that helps.
The problem with if you are going to use OBS as a virtual camera, the virtual camera is only video. So you might get a delay. Excuse me. It's likely you'll get a mismatch in the audio.
Like a little delay. Yeah, it's possible. So I would say if you really love this look with chat highlights and chat overlays, like when you can show the whole chat on top of your video and then occasionally highlight some specific comments, I would say using Studio would probably be better for those types of streams. Can you stream on X from mobile? You can. It's just going to be browser-based. So you basically log into your Restream account in your mobile browser, and then you can start your stream from there. If you are using scenes that we're talking about today, we recommend building them out in advance. And then on your mobile, since you have a little less space there, you'll be simply going through them. But yes, you can totally initiate your live stream from your mobile. Be aware that mobile phones are small, and they're not necessarily designed to power super high intense broadcasts with a lot of media, especially if you're showing some videos, if you're trying to show a lot of content, images and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit of an overload for your phone because its processor is just smaller. And you are also going to be needing really good internet connection, right? So if you're trying to stream from your phone and the internet connection is not great, there's very little room for bad internet in the world of live streaming. So just keep that in mind. Good stuff. Can you have different transition for camera switching? If you show us a little bit more of what exactly you're looking for. Generally speaking, we are looking in that direction. Currently, it's all kind of like this fading type situation. Let me actually show you what we have, right? So this is how we transition into a scene. That's actually another little update that we changed our header in Studio, so it now looks a little bit more clean and simple.
Header is the top bar.
The top of your, like the very top of your studio, where you have like all this important information about your viewers, your channels, and the status of your local recordings. So this is the transition that we have right now. So it's more or less like fading in, right? And if you have a layout with like multiple videos, they kind of like slide in, right? I believe that's the best word for it. But
if it was the shape, you know how we went from the circles to the squares. That does what in animation you would call tweening. So it adds frames between. So they are fairly dynamic in the way that they move,
but you cannot do a lot other different transitions right now. If you have anything specific that would really make your day, let us know in ideas.restream.io, because we are looking to expand them. It's just a question of how to keep that simple for people who are not necessarily professional video editors and just want to look good, versus how to give you all the customizations you possibly could want and need, right? Like, what are the essential transitions that you would like to see to make your show really shine? Let us know. It's really cool. All right, how do you changing the shapes? So we're changing the shapes by going to customization, right? Like, so we are starting with our contain layout, and then we go to customize. And then from there, we basically can change them into circles, squares, or rectangles, right?
You find customize by hovering over your sources, and there is an icon that looks a little bit like a square with some sliders that you would move.
I'm going to drop this little image right here. So this is obviously not the best image because I just screenshot myself while I'm live. But that middle icon is that has the word customize on top of it is the one that you need. Once you click that, you will be able to see the options with different shapes. And
those options are specific to the layout that you're using, because as we were saying with the scene transitions, there's a balance that we need to find between usability and like it actually functioning well. Like, we wouldn't want to release something that didn't work brilliantly. And so, we got to make sure that it's also not too complex for everyone to use, because when there's too much, then, it's distracting from and takes you away from what it is you're trying to do, which is connect with your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So it has to be a balance of making it easy, making it accessible to everybody, and giving you as much customization. But most importantly, trying to help you to use our experience of years and years of streaming and building streaming products to make you look good. So trust us, we've been through a lot of different experiments and trials and errors. And a lot of times the shapes, the layouts, the transitions that we suggest are just the ones that look the best based on our experience. Of course, there are opinions there because that's art, right? Live streaming video production is art, and there are different ways of doing that, and different ways could look good. But this is what we feel like, based on our experience, is just kind of like foolproof and proven to work really well for most creators and for most types of shows. That's why those are the defaults and those are the templates and examples that we show here.
Honestly, I this may be a misstep, but I view Restream as Apple and I view OBS as Android.
Yeah.
Right? Which one's better? It depends on your use case. But I know which one I want to use, because I know what I want my output to look like, and I know what I want the experience to be when I'm using it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very good analogy, and it's exactly true. Danger Zone is asking what kind of iPhone I have. I believe it's iPhone 17, just the regular one. It's not the Pro, it's not the Mega whatever, and it's also not the like tiny skinny mini. It's just the most regular 17. Got it for Christmas. Thanks, fam. And I think that the camera on that phone is absolutely epic. And if you do not want to invest in professional DSLR mirrorless type setup, your iPhone is the best camera you can get, because you already have it. Probably already own it.
I have a Pro Max 13, right? Old school, but I liked it because it had it has ProRes recording, which I use.
Yeah.
I used that as a camera when Budget Charles used that as a camera a few streams back. If you go back and have a look at that stream, and where we I was in a room and I used a webcam and then I used my camera, and the difference between the webcam and the phone camera was incredible. I think that my camera's maybe having some issues today because it's sat in a window facing the
facing
sun.
the sun, and it's overheating. That happens. So that's another thing to think about when folks were asking about streaming on mobile. Remember that depending on your device and its battery and how old or new, I guess it is, there's also this element to consider. So you have to basically think about how to charge it while you're streaming, because it's going to use some juice if you're going live.
It normally works great. I just think it's because it's right there in the window in the sun. I think that that's having an effect.
Could be. How do you show chat on screen? Very simple. You go to your chat tab and you toggle on show on stream, and then you can show the whole chat. You can show it on the side like I'm showing right now, and you can also show it on top of the video, and you can move it around the way you want. So pretty good stuff. Standard feature of Restream Studio.
We don't see it moving. We only see the result of when you drop. So when you were dragging it, it stayed still.
Okay.
Only once. So now it's over me.
And now it's over me.
Thanks.
So, but yeah, you can basically, and you can also resize it the way you want. We had a whole video about that was dedicated to this feature. You can make it smaller. You can like put it in specific parts of your stream.
You turn it into that funny font to make it look like people are saying
Exactly. So definitely check out our previous live stream, or we have like a short version, like a 10-minute best of the stream. It's going to be called Chat Overlay, or how to put your chat on your screen. Good stuff. All right. Live clipping.
Sorry, another thing is if you wanted to arrange that in your scene before you go live, the chat has a demo mode, so it comes up with demo text, so you know exactly what it's going to look like when people start chatting.
That's an excellent point. Yes. So if you're trying to show chats in different places, and maybe in one scene you want the whole overlay on top of everybody, then you want to kind of like make it smaller and maybe adjust its look and change it, you can do that. And then you can transition to the next scene when you just highlight specific comments like we're highlighting right now. All is possible with scenes, and then you just simply transition between those looks. Very cool. Live clipping. Sorry, I missed the start. I saw one of your clips. So is the software doing that automatically, or somebody in the team? So
Automagically.
Automagically. That is true. I missed that. I don't know why I read automatically, because of course we read with what we expect to see there, but it is automagically. That's a great way to put it. So there is a need for a person to do a little bit of work there. Mainly, you need to actually approve the publishing of the clip, right? So the clips are created, cut, the description is generated automatically. So everything is done completely on its own in your clips tab. The only thing you need to do manually, it's going to be either you or co-producer, is to go to the clips, pick the one you want. Usually you can set the number of clips that you want us to generate. It could be 2 clips, it could be 10 clips per project, per period of time. And then once you pick the clip that you want, you need to hit publish and toggle on the channels where you want it to go live. So we do not automatically publish them yet. If that's a feature...
That might be a little dangerous to have it just automatically, but you know what? Our agentic AI assistants are probably going to start doing this for us.
Well, that's the thing. It is possible that is the future of AI clipping, right? Like it is possible that this is the future of AI-powered editing and repurposing. However, as of today, you still need a human to say, yes, good to go, publish that. So that's the only human input that you need. If you feel like for your production, you would rather have it automated, let us know. I'm sure Romario, our product lead on Restream Clips, would love to hear that and why. But currently, yes, there's this very minor manual input that our co-producer Becca is doing for us right now. Everything else is done automatically and automagically. Really good stuff. Multi-camera, interesting to see eventually. Yes, multi-camera setup has been around for quite a while. I think we support extra camera in Restream Studio for about 3 years now. But the scenes really take it to the next level because you can make this switching, as we showed earlier. How about adding subtitles? Is this possible? From Celia? It is. I do think that you're talking about live captions because, right? Because subtitles
I would
be
closed
either closed captioning and potentially live translation. So Restream does not support live captioning right now because most of the end platforms already do. If you're streaming to LinkedIn, where you are watching us from, or YouTube, or Facebook, or X, actually, I'm not sure. Does X have live captioning?
I don't know.
I don't know about X, but like YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook already have captioning automatically. So you can basically tell your viewers to turn them on if they need them. That's why Restream doesn't offer that yet. It is, however, a common question and feature request. I recommend going to ideas.restream.io and upvoting that if that's important for your live show. And if you share a little bit more about your use case, there are a few workarounds that I can come up with. How it could work potentially. It's a little bit manual labor, like you will need a few co-producers to kind of like jump in and like help you. But you potentially could use, it's kind of like it's a stretch, but you could potentially use Restream captions, which are things like this. I told you about ideas, right? Restream.ideas.io. Sirens, Charles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Sirens of San Francisco, another character of the show. But you see how I'm using this caption with ideas.restream.io, or you can go to. So basically, you could create a bunch of captions like that and like have a person like to follow it, but that's a very hard manual process. I would recommend to just rely on the end platforms to give closed captioning to you. And I see our producer Becca is hinting that nope, no live captions on X. So if X is your main platform, you will need a workaround. And we'll definitely think about it, but let us know in ideas.restream.io by upvoting that is super important to you. Very cool. All right. I think we'll take a few more questions before I share my screen and show you exactly how the scenes of our previous shows looked, in case you want a sneak peek. But I just want to acknowledge a few more comments here. So Nick is saying analytics looks so much better now and tell us so much more. I'm just going to do this and say hello to Matt, the product lead on analytics.
Can I just say, so Nick posted that a little while ago. Mm-hmm. I took a screenshot. I sent it into our company Slack, and it's got a whole bunch of hearts. That was really appreciated, Nick. We really, the team appreciates that kind of feedback because, it's important. We're humans here at the end. It's important to know that when you're getting things right, not just when you're getting things wrong. But Bichok has replied to that, saying it will be even better soon. So
that's our head of product. So if he says it, it's
put
true.
Some little stars as an emoji next to that. So maybe that's hinting towards something.
To something automagically, hopefully. Something automagically.
I don't know. I'm in the dark there.
We'll find out. So I appreciate the pilot situations where we try features out for free before purchasing the plan. Yes, we do have trials for pretty much everything that is paid. If you are new to Restream, if you haven't used our platform before, you can actually try before you buy. There's a 7-day money-back guarantee on any plan that you upgrade when you upgrade for the first time. If there's a specific feature that you just want to try and you just really want to test it before you make a decision to buy it, you can always reach out to our 24/7 live support. It is human live streaming engineers and live streaming technicians, people who really know their stuff. So you can reach out to them, reference a specific feature, and most of the time they'll be happy to give you a couple of days to play around. So let us know in the chat if that's if you are which of the features you are looking to try. If it's live clipping, that's probably the most difficult one to try because it does cost a lot of money to process videos live and to create those clips. But yeah, if you're looking for this for your professional video production, then yeah, definitely let us know. We'll find a way to let you try it. Great questions.
We really need to talk to the support. They are so great, and one of the reasons I'm sitting here today is that I was a genuine user of the Restream Studio, and support was so incredible. I was like, this is a company I want to be in.
I love it so much. This is such a great story. That's awesome. Clarence TV. I currently use Restream to stream simultaneously. Does it work like Ecamm? So Ecamm is downloadable software, right? So it's more like OBS that is exclusive for Mac. So basically, you have to download it. It's a software that lives on your computer. Restream Studio is a browser-based, which gives you a lot more freedom. Freedom number one is if you throw away your computer, into the river or into the outer space, your Restream account stays the same and you can log in from a different machine and everything is still going to be there, which is not the case with OBS or any other downloadable software. It's also very cool for co-production. I'm not familiar with co-producer modes on Ecamm. I do believe that they have something there, but with Restream, you can have many, many people joining you as co-producers, as behind-the-scenes co-creators, as co-hosts, as folks who just log into your account and help you repurpose content. Like we actually have right now. We have somebody who's kind of overviewing and looking at our live clips and kind of like picking the best ones for the future. Like, so there's a lot more collaboration capabilities here. And of course, there is the beauty of cloud multi-streaming. So everything is happening in the cloud. There's no strain on your system. If you're worrying about the quality of those recordings that you will get in the browser, maybe you've been burned before, you try to record something online versus directly on your device and the quality didn't quite match, we have a solution for that too. We have a local recording feature that allows you to record all the sources, the camera of you, of your guests, and anything else you share locally on the device, and we upload them in the background as the live stream goes. So you get this best quality, locally recorded videos for you and all of your guests delivered to your cloud account immediately, and all of that without extra load on your system. So give it a try. If you've been using it with Ecamm, you can compare Studio. There are some limitations in terms of what you can do, like how like resizable and customizable things are on your live stream screen and canvas. But there are so many benefits that I think you should definitely give it a go. So check out our Studio and see how that compares. Great question. I love that. All right. Thank you. Looking forward to trying to Restream Studio. Very excited. Big love, Restream team. I'm looking at the analytics. I love that. It's awesome. There's also a big shout out to our support. Restream support rocks like a good neighbor. Is that State Farm? State Farm. This is awesome.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. just the cultural reference that just happened on its own. All right. Before we wrap up, I would love to show you a few builds of my own scenes. Not mine, ours. It's a team effort. Everyone. I was just thinking like, oh, my show, my scenes, but no, it's not. It's not just me. It's a lot of people actually, and I can't thank them enough. How much work Becca, Charles, our product leads, our support team members, our moderators in the chat, our engineers are putting into this show. Our leadership team, our CEO who paired his channels and allowed this to be broadcasted on his major accounts like X and LinkedIn. So I do want to show you a few examples of how we built our own live show in terms of scenes flow. And hopefully that will inspire you a little bit. So let's go ahead and dive in. And you are welcome to submit a few more questions for us because we will be taking the last round once we are done. I am looking for our screen share scene, not finding it, but never mind. I'm just gonna go ahead and share right here. All right, here is my screen. So welcome to our Restream account. Oh, that's us. So this is how our home screen looks. This is my workspace.
That is the actual one.
Yeah, that's the one that we're in right now. You can't fake it because right now it says it's live, and that's live, us right here. So we're not going to go.
How you're zooming in on that screen share live without leaving the page. Look at that.
Without leaving the page. So smooth, so nice. But yes, this is my actual home screen on the live show workspace, which is where I create, where I schedule all the shows, and then we build the scenes in. So we are going to look at the previous one that we did recently. That was a Restream Clips Q&A that we did with Romario, our product lead on Clips. So I'm going to enter the studio and
you're going into a studio whilst live in another studio.
Yeah, totally. I'm just going to mute myself here, and I'm actually going to turn off my camera just to not like make it too crazy meta. But the main thing I want to show you here is basically the flow of scenes and like how we create them for our live shows, right? So we always start with a countdown. So in this one, we had this crazy thing going on with the watch. We customize the music, we customize the timer, and it is an auto-switching scene. So once the timer times out, I guess, it transitions into the welcome scene. Normally, this is my camera. This is me and my co-host. In this case, it was Romario. From there, and this is actually an interesting thing because here I have
a place. My camera is overheated, I think. Sorry. I'm going to take myself away for a second.
No worries. Yeah, we'll have you back as soon as you are. Yeah, if you want to you can just hide it. Yeah, like this. Perfect. So yeah, this is the placeholder scene. Normally, instead of a placeholder here, you will have your co-host. In this case, it would be Romario, but it's actually very cool. As I build it, I always try to add those placeholders to my space because I want to see how this will look. So for example, if I'm thinking, should we go with this layout or should we go with this layout or just like all together, like this participant placeholder helps me to kind of envision exactly how this view is going to look. Typically here I have my subscribe CTA. So let me actually go to my assets and add my little Restream subscribe button. So yeah, and see how in this scene, I actually call it subscribe CTA. So that's how I know that when I go from welcome scene to, hey, like and subscribe, I know that this layout and this overlay is going to be here. My next scene is typically hello chat. So I really love to welcome folks. My streams are always very interactive, and that's how we like it here because we want to focus on the questions and we want to focus on our audience. So we show the whole chat overlay like this. You can achieve that by going to your chats and enabling this show on stream toggle. Then we were introducing the topic of clips. So we were basically talking about what the clips are and how they turn your long videos into shorts. We're using an image here, which we simply took a screenshot of our landing page and entered it here. And then Romario and I would be talking about this, kind of introducing the topic. We also created a few scenes where we would kind of anticipate some questions. Like, for example, this scene talks about what Restream clips are not. We don't have any fake contents. It's not training any AIs. We're not using your likeness and giving it to other creators. So this is basically another image or a slide that I would not necessarily go to immediately after I introduce the topic. But if someone brings up the question, I have that scene ready. So that's another thing to remember. Scenes don't have to necessarily go one after another. Your flow can go like this. You can start with hello chat, and then you can jump into next scene, and then you can skip a bunch of scenes, and then basically encourage people to ask questions. We always love to show video explainers. So for example, in this one, we're showing how we modified our clips page and what changed in your projects and what all the cool things that you can find here. So instead of going live and then sharing your screen and kind of, which is basically exactly what I'm doing right now, which is kind of funny. But a lot of times when we're trying to do the demo, we pre-record the screen and we show it as a video. How you achieve that is you go to your little plus, you go to your video right here, and then from your video storage, you can select the video guide that you pre-created, and then you can play it live. Really, really handy. Looks so much more professional than trying to share screen live. We do have a few more of those, of course. Most of them are kind of around the same, kind of like it's either us talking, it's either some media scene or some Q&A part. So for final Q&A, we usually basically just come to take one last question or a few last questions. And in the end, we have a scene with a thank you screen overlay, which is something that you will see in just a few minutes as we wrap up, because we love to show, thank you. We like to show some chats that are especially, filled with Restream love, and we'd kind of like play some music and kind of like wrap it off like that. I also have a ton of post-scriptum scenes. The reason why I have those scenes is in case I really need to jump to screen share. I have a special scene that is called screen share. So like if I feel inspired to share something, I'm not like necessarily modifying my normal final Q&A scene. I'm just going to go to this one and share my screen right here. Sometimes I know that I can anticipate certain questions. For example, there were some announcements from major market players like Twitch and X. Maybe people will want to ask about local recordings. So I have this post-scriptum scene that shows how local recordings work. So in case I have that question, I can always come to it and immediately have the visual ready. So this is my kind of like personal little life hack. Create this post-scriptum scenes of questions you anticipate. So when someone asks, you can just go there and show it right away. So those are the main things that I wanted to show. And you're back. That's absolutely lovely. And I also see that
I'm muted. I am back. Yes, my camera is in 4K mode. Poor little. It's so hot in here. It's really crazy. You are what temperatures are you looking at? I mean, for San Francisco, it's not that hot. It's like 80 degrees or something outside. So it's not outrageous, but I'm in a room that's got lots of windows, which you can see now. ooh,
Yeah.
the sun where I moved things, sunlight's coming
Yeah.
through that window,
But
and
it looks so good. It looks so
you
slick.
like that.
That sunlight on your,
I
yeah.
can't guarantee that that's always going to happen. I could probably. I actually have a light in that corner, but
Yeah. It
I
looks like
would
a
need
lightsaber. It looks like
yeah, I would
my,
yeah, it does. It looks
yeah.
cool. I actually do have a light in that corner. If you look just there, there's a sort of. Hang on, how am I going to do that? There, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can see there's a little bit. I have got a light in that corner to try and do that, but faking something like sunlight like that would require a more directional spotlight, which I don't have for that corner. Anyway, yes, I'm melting. Honestly,
Oh,
I'm
we
trying to maintain
are
composure.
we are going to take some last final questions from the chat and wrap up because this was really good. So yeah, you can definitely come back to this replay. But yeah, for those who are just joining us right now, we were just showing how we use scenes in our own shows. And I showed you the exact build out of our previous show that we did dedicated to live clips. I guess to just restream clips. Live clipping is a new thing that we're testing today. And I believe that the 5th clip, the live highlight from this very show, has been just posted. So if you want to see how live clipping of the event that is still happening works, you can check out on our YouTube, LinkedIn, and X is where we post our shorts from this very stream that is not done yet. Pretty powerful stuff. All right, our final questions. The camera transitions and zoom are very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I do believe that the ones that we have as default are pretty cool and pretty nice. They look really, really good. But if you want to see other transitions, yeah, definitely let us know at ideas.restream.io. Wait, I missed that. How did she zoom in the screen? Just mouse movement. So there are 2 ways to zoom. You can share your screen and then zoom and then actually go to that tab and zoom there. It's a little smoother. That's actually what I did to zoom kind of like in a more smooth way. But if you prefer to see your screen as you are talking, I'm actually going to go to screen share scene for just a second here. So you actually have controls right in studio. So right now I'm still in studio. I can see Charles, I can see everything, and I can just click on the zoom like this and I can show my
it's zooming
scenes.
Natively in so it's actually you're technically you're kind of controlling that web page, right? You're not it's not like you're zooming in on the image. It's like hitting plus on
plus
your
100%, 110%. Yeah,
right.
So you're basically like zooming in, but you can always go to that tab and zoom like specific parts as well. So there are 2 ways to do it. The coolest part about the new update on screen share is you can also now scroll within the same studio. So you look at your screen share in preview and you can scroll up and down. So you don't have to leave the studio. You can still see your chat, your co-host, and things like that. Very, very cool. Excited to try studio. Yeah, I think we did take this one earlier.
Clara's very interactive with us today.
I know. I love that.
Thanks for being here, mate.
Absolutely. So I see that our mod Grant shared the last clip from today's stream in YouTube Shorts. You can click the link and see it. And yeah, that is awesome. And of course, Grant is saying, stay strong, Charles, for the next couple of minutes before you melt completely. I love that.
Reluctant, who is also often with us, is saying that we go. Can I bring that one up?
Yeah,
I was Gobo to fake a window. Yes, I could. I could. You're absolutely right. I could use a Gobo to fake the window.
That's
Gobo
awesome.
Is
and there's
Gobo
also
is like a cookie that goes over anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also this great comment, Charles, you need to do a video how to stop your camera from overheating. That is talking about chat exports turning into content. There's one right here for you, which is awesome. All right.
Yeah, actually, I know how to do it, and I didn't do it this morning. I should have turned my camera to HD, not 4K. The camera I use is a Sony ZV-E1, and it doesn't have internal cooling fans like your camera, which I believe is a Sony.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I don't remember which one you have, but it has internal cooling. I don't.
Yeah.
So I have an external cooling thing, and it's normally absolutely fine. It's just particularly warm in here today. And I keep, I prioritize sound over pictures actually. So that I've got it. I've got lots of everything closed up and curtains everywhere. So, note itself, yes.
Good content, good ideas. Much needed for my show. Thank you. Great ad. Thank you for your comments, team. You are absolutely amazing. Okay, so I think there's a question about clipping. So the clipping needs any setup or we can just flag it during the stream. You don't even have to flag it. The beauty of Restream Clips is that it is AI powered. So AI looks at the transcript of your show, right? So basically the things, the speech, the words that you're saying, and determines which are the most powerful, impactful moment, and then creates those clips for you. You don't have to do anything. With clips after the show, you then have an option to go to your project and review the clips. You can make some edits, reframe, maybe change captions, change some styles, move your layouts around a little bit. So there's some editing things that are very simple for anybody. I'm not an editor myself, but I have no issues using that editor because it's super user-friendly. And then you can post those clips. And this is a great way to find new fans because short-form content gets prioritized by end platforms. It's shorter, digestible, bite-sized, so it's easy for people with low attention span to learn about your show. And then potentially you can use that to funnel people into subscribing to your channel and get more of your content on a regular basis.
Because, people that scroll the feed are a different audience to people that will specifically tune in to watch a live show.
Exactly.
So what you're doing is you're reaching those people and saying, oh, we are live right now. And,
yes.
I do it myself on Shorts. You're scrolling something and then I often see street vendors cooking and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll sit and watch a street vendor cook for a while. And they've pulled me in from my Shorts feed into the live stream.
Yeah, we talked
about people throwing balls up onto a thing, which I find weirdly satisfying.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like the type of content you would watch as a short form is a lot of times very different. For example, I get served a lot of short clips from movies, right? And sometimes they're not even like brand new movies. They're movies from 10, 20 years ago. That because, for example, like I liked a specific actor or like kind of like looked for a specific example or title or something, and they will give me those shorts and I would always watch them because I know, oh, this is like a little snippet from that movie, right? That's going to be 30 seconds and that's going to make me wonder like if I want to rewatch it, maybe I want to see it for the first time, but I would never go to YouTube and specifically search for like, what are the Anne Hathaway movies that I missed, right? Like that's not something that I would do, but because it's served to me in that short bite-sized form, I would always look at that. And it's the same for other categories in other industries, right? Like people might not be necessarily looking for what you do, but then they get served your little snippet, your little highlight, and then they're like, okay, I'm actually interested in this creator. They kind of make sense, they're interesting, and then they will continue to finding your channel, hopefully subscribing, liking, and watching your shows on a regular basis, and then you turn them into a loyal fan and the community member.
You remember when movies were on the TV and you would flick and you'd see a movie and you'd start watching and you'd watch it halfway through and you'd watch it to the end, right? Yeah. It was happening all the time. Excuse me, this is sort of the same thing, isn't it? You're like, oh, I get hooked in by that content, by seeing it there. You'll watch it to the end. I at the moment, my feed seems to think I want to watch reruns of Friends. I have no idea why. I don't dislike Friends, but I'm getting a lot of Friends content.
You did something to make it think that that's your jam, so...
I mean, I think it's trying me out because I'm always rejecting the what's that Sheldon nerds?
Oh yeah, the Young Sheldon or something. Yeah.
No. The where that was the spin-off. It's oh my gosh. Anyway, you know the show I'm trying to. I've not seen it, but I've seen a bunch of clips, and I'm like, no, I'm not really interested in that. So now it's trying out it all, and also Two Broke Girls. I get a lot of that. I don't know why. I've never seen these shows. It's just really trying, but it shows that the algorithm is constantly trying new things out and pushing new things. So if you're not there, if you're not doing these clips, if you're not live clipping, if you're not doing clipping at all, you're not even in the game, right? You're missing 100% of the shots you're not taking, if you see what I'm saying.
Romario could not help himself and told us that it's a Big Bang Theory.
That's it. I didn't know what it was. I was thinking Third Rock. I had Third Rock from the Sun in my head, and I knew that wasn't right.
I kept thinking Silicon Valley, and I knew that was wrong, but it's just like it clouded me completely, and I couldn't. So thank you, Romario. It's also... Big Bang
Theory. That's like a crossover.
Yeah.
From
No, actually, Bing. It's just big. No, that's lovely. Minty is saying, I usually have a producer who cook clips while I'm streaming. It helps to spike inbound interest. I know. This is amazing. And this is why live clipping that we are testing and demonstrating today is exactly designed to do that and to free off your producer. So basically, Restream AI will cook for you. Then you just have to publish whichever ones you like, and that creates this exact interest. And you know what's really interesting? We didn't really talk about that. We'll probably leave it for a special conversation about live clipping when we have a dedicated stream about that. But you could use it also for internal communications. Like if you're using Restream Studio for your like internal meetings or company updates and things like that, using clips to then just show like really important snippets of what was going on, what was discussed on that, let's say, all hands meeting, right, is another cool way to engage folks in Slack or in Microsoft Teams, whichever you are using. So there's so many different ways how this engagement and this like short moments could work for you. But of course, posting them on social platforms, multiple platforms at the same time with Restream multi-posting feature is the way to go.
You've
Love
touched
it.
on an interesting subject there that I'm not sure it's seen. I don't think. I just wonder whether people realize that this is also enterprise platform that a lot of companies use, not just live streamers. This is used genuinely for many
For production, for video production. A lot of people use Shopify is a great example. A lot of people use Restream Studio just to produce their own internal communication stuff.
Right.
Even though they also use it for announcements, product launches, and updates. But as an additional use case or additional team that is using that are folks who never connected to real social channels. They only stream into internal servers and internal spaces, but produced in Restream Studio with all the beautiful graphics, overlays, and scenes, of course, to transition from different parts of the content and to make presentations and meetings and company updates and all hands, town halls, Q&As, whatever you're hosting for your big corporation, seamless and beautiful.
Right. Imagine if you had like a school function for like small children. You could stream to an unlisted YouTube account, and then only the people that have that link would be able to see that content. So it's a powerful tool.
Awesome. I see a lot of beautiful comments. Thank you so much for for acknowledging our awesome moderator, Grant, who I love how like Noreen here saying, thank you very much, Grant, for being awesome moderator. That's true. You've been a true rock star today, because it was no small job to remind people about the live clipping. We were testing this for the first time. It's the first time we're actually sharing live clipping as we stream. So very, very exciting. Great update. There will be a dedicated live show that Romario and I will host to break down this feature, how exactly it works, show you a bunch of demos. So stay tuned for that. That's coming soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today and listening to all of our examples and like asking great questions, very, very good, insightful questions today. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you learned more about scenes and have a better understanding of how they work. We will be publishing the guide, the watch party guide that we showed here with Charles very shortly. So feel free to come back to that to learn a little bit more about how that works. If you have questions for us, let us know. Our DMs are always open. If you have your studio setups that you would like to share and you would like for me or Charles to look at and help you level up, also offer stands this whole week. Let us know how your setup looks, and if there's something that we could recommend you to do to make it even better, we will. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Any other last
Thank you
comments?
to Becca for producing today. Very helpful.
Thank you for Charles for being my co-host.
Yeah,
and
overheating over here.
Overheating.
It's
lots of
I'll tell
hearts.
you, it's pretty warm
lots
in
of
this
love.
room. It's got to be 90 degrees in this room right now.
I don't know how you're coping, but on this powerful note, we will say goodbye and see you later.
Thank
Thank you so much, guys.